Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today we are making yet another budget-friendly recipe and it has another beautiful name. It's called Glop. G-L-O-P, Glop. And when I searched for a recipe for this, there are many different versions. I even found a glop that was more like a dip, but the version I'm going to be making today is more like a stew, a little bit more like American goulash or Hoover stew. If you haven't seen those budget-friendly hard time recipes, I'll put links to the videos down below. Hoover stew was made in the 1930s during the Great Depression and uses many of the ingredients that I'll be using today, and I imagine it's going to have a similar flavor, but it has a different name, Hoover stew, rather than glop. And when something is called glop, doesn't that sound appetizing? It doesn't to me, but it can be a name that has some affection, I think. And it is relatively budget friendly and you can feed a lot of people. So let's go ahead and make some glop. And I will put, like always, in the description the original recipe that I will be following. So I like making these recipes for several reasons. Number one, there's usually something about a title or the name of the recipe that's intriguing. This case, glop, yes, check that box. And my other reasons for making this recipe today are that it's relatively inexpensive and it's quick to make. This whole recipe comes together in 20 minutes and that includes all the cook time. So like that as well. And you can feed a good number of people with it too. So that is a good thing. Alrighty, so I've got a big pot here and I'm gonna start preheating it on medium-high heat. And to that, I'm gonna add a little bit of vegetable oil. And we are going to be browning up some ground turkey. I have 1 pound of ground turkey here, but I imagine any kind of ground meat would work. If you've got beef, you've got pork, whatever you've got handy, chicken, I think would be just fine. This recipe calls for turkey. And we're just gonna brown this up until it goes kind of gray in color. The recipe doesn't call for it, but I'm gonna go ahead and season this with a little bit of salt and pepper. Fresh cracked pepper and a pinch of salt. All right, that's cooking up pretty quickly. I'm gonna cover this and allow it to steam a little bit to help it cook along. So a big part of why this recipe comes together so quickly is because we're going to be using canned vegetables. I've got a 16-ounce can or 15.25-ounce can of sweet corn. I've got some chopped Italian-style tomatoes, and I've got some mixed vegetables. Now this recipe called for canned zucchini, but for the life of me, I could not find any canned zucchini. And more specifically, it was supposed to be Italian-style zucchini, which I could not find. I couldn't even find canned zucchini. So I'm substituting vegetable blend, and somehow I think my hard times peeps would say that this would be an okay substitution, particularly since I'll be using Italian-style tomatoes. So we're gonna get that Italian seasoning flavor from here. So the tomatoes I'm not going to drain because that has all our sauce and seasoning, but the vegetables I think I shall. Let's open our cans of vegetables and drain them. So this is the sweet corn. I'll be honest, I don't use canned corn too often because I find it has a kind of tinny metallic taste to it, but I think when you cook with it or put it in things, it doesn't taste as canned. Cool can opener, by the way. This was sent to me by a beautiful lovely. It creates a lid that has no sharp edges. Isn't that cool? It actually degums it. Isn't that cool? It separates the can from here. And so there's no sharp edge here, and there's no sharp edge here. There's that. I always liked stealing some corn niblets whenever my mom would open a can of corn. I don't know why. Just always loved that. Same thing with the vegetable blend. Here's the vegetables, which is a blend of lima beans, green beans, carrots, and corn. So this is gonna have lots of corn in this one. Let's try a lima bean. Tastes like a bean. Tastes like canned beans. Okay, I'm gonna put these in recycling. Open the tomatoes too. Okay, let's check on our turkey, which I think should be close. Oh yeah. So our turkey is cooked. No more pink. And we've got some turkey broth at the bottom. The recipe says you may need to add a little bit more water. Okay, so Now we're going to dump our vegetables in and our can of Italian style tomatoes that are diced. Pretty colorful with the addition of that tomato and the yellow from the corn. Not too bad looking. Wow, that looks great. So these vegetables are already cooked. So basically we have to just warm them through and allow the flavors to meld together. That's it. I'm gonna let this simmer. It says to let it simmer for how long? Okay, flavoring, reduce, simmer 10 minutes. Okay, so there's not a lot of liquid in this, so I'm going to add just about a half cup of water to help make a sauce. And then we're to add some hot sauce, about 1 teaspoon. I'm gonna add a little extra because I like hot sauce. This is Red's. This is a Rhode Island hot sauce, and this is the Club Jalapeno. That, and we need 3 tablespoons of chili powder. This chili powder's got some heat to it, so I'm just go with 1 tablespoon and then we'll taste it. And after that, if it needs a little bit more of a kick, we can add more. Ooh, that adds a nice chili scent to everything. Okay, so we're gonna bring this to a boil and we're gonna simmer this for 10 minutes. And that's it. That's just enough time to heat everything through. And I'm sure that this is one of these dishes that the longer it sits and everything gets to meld together, the better the flavor will be. So I imagine even tomorrow that this will taste even better. That's it for all the ingredients. So now I'm just going to cover this and allow it to simmer for 10 minutes, and we shall come back and give this a taste. Glop. It'll be glop time. Alrighty, my lovelies, it's been about 10 minutes and our glop should be ready. So let us unveil it. And while it has the name glop, it actually looks quite lovely. It doesn't make me think of glop at all. When I think of something gloppy, I think something pasty and gluey, but this is colorful and hot and looks great. Alrighty, so I'm gonna turn off the heat. And this looks great. Smells great too. Let's taste it for seasoning because we may need to add some salt. Well, let's just taste the sauce. I don't want to give away the taste yet, so I'm just gonna taste the sauce. Yes, it does need some salt. And 1 tablespoon of chili powder was enough for this. It'll depend on the type of chili powder you're using, but for me, that's enough. Don't want to make it too spicy, otherwise the kiddos will not be able to enjoy it. This came together super fast because there was practically 0 preparation. We just had to brown the meat. We didn't have to chop any vegetables, no blanching, nothing. Just dump everything in. And look, it's so colorful. Into my bowl. And I should have some crackers or something to have this with, but I don't. Alrighty, so here we are. Here's my bowl of glop. And it doesn't look gloppy to me whatsoever. Looks pretty good. Alrighty, it's super hot, so take a bite. A little bit of everything. Here we go. Itadakimasu. My first taste of glop. Itadakimasu. The turkey is completely cooked. The sauce has a nice little spicy kick to it because of the chili powder and the little bit of hot sauce, but I'm gonna add some more hot sauce. Because hot sauce not only adds a little heat, it also adds a little bit of tang because of the vinegar that's in there, and of course some additional salt. I like that. I think Tabasco would also go really well with this too. Tabasco is nice and smoky. I think it would go perfectly with this. The vegetables are tender. The corn has a little bit of crunch to it and it's pretty good. You can taste the Italian seasoning a little bit, and the tomato definitely has to be there in my opinion. In terms of flavor, it's actually quite similar to Hoover stew and American goulash. Both of them, all of them I think are in the same kind of family of canned, throw everything together stews that are hearty, inexpensive, and pretty tasty. Alrighty, my lovelies, there you have it. That's how you can make homemade glop. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Oh my gosh, it's so balmy and sticky today. My glasses are just extremely slippery. They're just sliding right off my nose, even more so than usual. Well, that was fun, but now it is time for me to pick strawberries with my kids.